Okay, so hi, my name is Damian Newton. I'm here with Kevin with Jose Huizar's office in Los Angeles. Phil Brock is actually sitting right next to me. We're having a bit of a technical issue that he is working out. So Kevin, why don't you, and as soon as he's ready, we'll bring him on, but since we're broadcasting, Kevin, why don't you start, introduce yourself, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the things happening in Los Angeles right now.
Sure. My name is Kevin Acabillo. I'm the planning deputy for Councilmember Jose Huizar, who represents the 14th Council District in the city of LA.
Okay.
I guess that's it right now.
Well, Rick was telling me in the office that even before you were with the council member, you were working on parklets. And since this is parking day, I'm actually broadcasting from the Santa Monica Next/Santa Monica Spoke Parking Day spot. Why don't we start talking about parklets? There's 4, I believe, or is there 5 in Los Angeles now? I know there's 4 in your district.
Right.
I think those are the only 4, if memory serves right now. So why don't, I guess let's start with those. How are they doing? It's been almost 2 years now. What's the reaction? Are people still using them? How's it going?
Yeah, we found that the parklets, well, for those of the folks who are unaware of where they are, there are 2 located on Spring Street, between 6th and 7th Street on Spring Street, and then there's one located in Highland Park on York Boulevard, and another one located on Huntington Drive North in El Sereno. And in all 4 locations, we found that, they've been doing really great. They've really captured the imagination of the people and the residents living there. I don't visit them as often as I would like to, but it's really cool when I go out and I see folks just sort of hanging around, or, when people just walk by and seamlessly just sort of wander into the parklet and walk away without really knowing that they were actually in one, I think is great, because they just sort of blend so well into the urban fabric.
I think I got a picture up here from, I believe this is the El Sereno Park. From the day that it opened, Chris Fortin, who was covering the east side for us at the time, took a picture of that. If I remember correctly, that was the one that was sort of interesting, since one of the few parklets that exist that's not sort of tied to a restaurant.
Yeah, that's right. So the Huntington Drive parklet and the parklet on York Boulevard in Highland Park both came out of a community visioning process. So the council member, was looking at a lot of the commercial corridors, obviously Broadway being one of them, but he was looking at the other ones throughout the district, including Huntington Drive and York Boulevard, and he wanted to, see what people were looking for, see what people wanted to do, and what they wanted to see happen in those locations. And after a visioning process that lasted quite a while, I believe it's almost 6 months, people decided, we want to have a parklet. We want to have a space outdoors where we can sit and hang out, and you don't have to necessarily buy some food at the next door cafe or be a patron of a local business in order to enjoy public space.
Okay, you see, now I have up the perils of broadcasting on a street corner. You can see now I have up a picture from the, I believe this is actually also the park opening. This is the one in front of, this is one of the ones on Spring Street. I believe the one at LA Cafe, but it might be the one farther north.
I think this is the syrup, the one located in front of Syrup Desserts, so the one to the north.
Yeah, you can see the council member there working on the exercise bike.
Right.
Downtown Los Angeles has been really receptive to programs such as the Parklets program and the Downtown LA, the Bringing Broadway Back, and the dress rehearsal. Can we talk about that for a little bit also?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I guess the dress rehearsal's been the dress rehearsal's been in place for about, I don't know, a little over a month now, 6 weeks, say.
Right.
I guess how's it being received? I know there was some pushback at first on social media, but everything I've heard after the actual ribbon cutting has been positive.
Yeah, the council member really took a holistic approach to Broadway, right? It's not he sort of saw this as one part in a larger vision for the corridor, and obviously placing pedestrians sort of prioritizing them and their space and making it comfortable for them was right at the top of the list. And there were little growing pains at first, as with any sort of pilot project or introductory project. But I think that people, are starting to realize and see the value that slowing down traffic in that corridor has in terms of promoting the local businesses that have been there for a long time, being able to highlight maybe some of the new folks who are decided to open up or fortunate to open up on Broadway. It's a corridor with 12 historic theaters, major historic theaters that really doesn't exist anywhere else in the country, as far as I know. And so, it's really just bringing it back to that scale. If you look at old pictures of Broadway, it's packed full with people, and that's exactly the direction that we'd like to go, and the council member would like to go in. And, it just starts with the dress rehearsal. There are a lot of other components that we've for example, our office has worked really closely with a lot of the property owners in the area to make sure that they take advantage of, Mills Act tax credits, to make sure they keep the investment in the historic facades. We've worked with building to help develop adaptive reuse standards for some of the older buildings. So not only are we activating the ground floor, but we're also encouraging the floors above all the way up to the top to be filled, and we want to bring more people there and bring people back to Broadway.
Okay, I guess your office sort of has a reputation for pushing a little bit more on open space for parklets and programs such as the dress rehearsal. Is there anything in the hopper that's not on the street in downtown or northeast LA or over in Boyle Heights that we should be looking for?
Say that one more time.
Is there any sort of open space project in your district that's not already on the ground that we should? There goes a big blue bus. That we should. Is there a project that we don't that hasn't been built yet that we should be looking for that directly relates to open space and giving people more options to be outside?
Yeah, I think well, two things. The council member's from Boyle Heights. He still lives there, and he's very proud to represent it. One of the major things that's going on right now is the East Side Access Project, which broke ground a couple months ago, and that's really a holistic approach, also looking at improving the first mile, last mile connections between the Gold Line stations on the east side, and that includes a whole public art component. It includes a lot of new street furniture such as trash cans, benches, new decorative bike racks. So a lot of that stuff actually is being implemented as we speak, and that's another thing that we're really proud to look forward to. The 6th Street Bridge, I know, is another huge project that's going to come through, and just a lot of the energy that's around in Los Angeles right now, focused around the river. And I know that project will be a huge catalyst, in terms of open space, literally redesigning the bridge and re-looking at how we prioritize how people get around, but also not just the bridge itself, but sort of the things that surround the bridge and how you integrate sort of a lot of those connections will be really fantastic too.
Sorry for the brief pause there. I started to mute myself while you're talking to give you a little time without the background noise. Jason? Again, I'm Damian Newton with Streetsblog LA / Santa Monica Next. We're doing a 2-part interview today on Parking Day and open space. I'm here with Phil Brock, the local. Hi, wave again. He's supposed to be on at the moment, but we're having a bit of a technical difficulty. If this continues, we'll just put the computer between us and go old school for our interview. One camera. And I'm here with Kevin with City Councilman Huizar's office, who has been talking to us about parklets, Parking Day, and all of that. You just mentioned the East Side Access Project, which is ironically, the first time I actually met the council member in person was right before the day before they opened the the Gold Line East Side Extension. I was doing a bicycling tour of it to look at the bike ped infrastructure, and we ran into the council member at Mariachi Plaza, and he asked us how our tour was doing. And when we told him, some of the issues, he said, "You know what? We're gonna take care of this. We're gonna deal with it." And now, I'm not saying that the East Side Access project happened because of my bike ride, but we're starting to see that now. Is there anything that, as you guys have been doing that outreach for that project, has there been any surprises or anything we should be looking for as the project moves forward? It's something that we've been happy to see moving on, but albeit unless you're actually at the public meeting, sometimes it's hard to know how the public outreach is going.
Yeah, the East Side Access Project had an extensive public outreach process as well. I think some of the things that folks can look forward to will be the installation of some of these art components and art elements. I mean, it's not just your standard, street benches. We work really closely with a lot of local artists and folks to really maintain a lot of or get a lot of the heritage and a lot of sort of the East Side style and flavor when designing a lot of the public art components, the bike racks and the street benches. It's been a really interesting process just because there are so many jurisdictions in the public right-of-way, and on the east side as well, there's a couple freeways that sort of cross First Street. So even in coordinating with Caltrans and the various agencies to make those improvements has been an interesting challenge, but I think one that we all learn from and are ready to move forward and share with the rest of the city. Another thing that's really great going along on First Street and that the council member is really stoked about at this point is the utility box mural project. We've along First Street, actually, and this is a rumor, I got to confirm this with the folks over at DOT, but I believe at every intersection or every street light there's a utility box there, which is normally just sort of a gray shed. And we've partnered with DOT and a lot of local artists to allow folks to paint those and bring more life to it. And it's cool because they're all like really different. They're all like kind of funky. They all tell their own history and narrative of the story. And you can see them all along First Street on the East Side Access Project. There's a bunch of them popping up now in the Arts District and they're in downtown as well.
Sorry, again, the pause as I turn my microphone back on. I guess it's not really open space, but one of obviously our favorite things to write about is Ciclavia. The upcoming October 5th event has a big part of your district. Is there anything you think we should be looking for as we're biking and walking around the streets, those of us that don't live there? And the follow-up question is, does your office do anything for the event? And I don't mean programming-wise. Like, do you all go out as a group and bike? Is there anything like that happens? We've seen different offices sort of have fun with the event in different ways.
Yeah, we've got a lot of. Well, I know that there's a couple hubs that go through our side or go through CD14 that we will definitely be present at. I'm really looking forward to riding in from the Northeast, and I would love anybody, CD14 or any other council district who's coming from the Northeast to join me to ride, and maybe we can do a feeder ride down to Ciclavia, down to Mariachi Plaza, or one of the other locations in the area. So yeah, we've always been a great supporter of Ciclavia. This year we're fortunate enough because it's going to go right down Broadway, so a lot of folks will have a nice up close and personal look. If you haven't visited yet, this will be definitely your chance to check out all the cool bells and whistles and things that we've got going on Broadway. But then it also goes through the east side and along Chavez, which is pretty exciting, and we're really looking forward to that.
Sorry, my finger slipped there. It took me a while to unmute myself. I think as we're starting to wrap up, the last thing, it's funny. a couple of years ago a bike corral going in where you take out a parking space and add like 12 bike parking spaces. It was like the height of like progressive planning in LA. Like it was amazing when we did that. And nowadays that's less exciting because we have all these other things going on, but it's still really needed. The first parklet ever was again in your district, Cafe de Leche. And are there any other ones going up anytime soon in the 14th?
Bike corrals? As far as I know, that I know that we are slated to get a couple more installed, at least 3 that I know, in sometime in the fall. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to check with our great folks over at DOT. But yeah, and as I understand, there's a new bike rack typology, bike corral typology that that DOT has looked at and designed. I know the first one was installed, or one of the first ones was installed in Atwater, so we're definitely excited on our side to get ours in CD14. I believe there's going to be one on Colorado Boulevard, in Eagle Rock, and then another one on York Boulevard as well. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay, so then I guess how I usually wrap up these types of interviews is just by asking, is there anything you'd like to share as we talk about open space and parking issues that I haven't caught on that you'd be interested in just chatting about? It's okay to say no.
Well, I think that the council member is really excited about Los Angeles right now, and just sort of the direction and the energy that we're going in. It's certainly an effort by many people, and he's proud to be a part of that and to be a champion of the movement, whether you call it the Complete Streets movement or anything else. I think that he's always recognized the value of the quality of open space and making it comfortable for people to be outside and to be in their city and enjoy their city and to explore and to sometimes get lost, and because that's really sort of when you make those personal connections with the place that you're in, and really what makes you appreciate it.
Okay then. Well, thank you for being with us. I think I am going to show a street film of the first parking day that we covered in 2006, which is not the first one ever. That was in 2005, but this one in 2006 while Phil and I figure out the tech. Thank you, Kevin. I'll see you at Ciclavia. I'll be on the blue bike. Look for a blue bike. And in the meantime, while we try to figure out the tech, I am going to get the street film up and going. And right. I'll talk to you soon.
Happy Parking Day.
Thank you. Happy Parking Day. Again, this is Damien with Streetsblog / Santa Monica Next. I am going to share a video on Parking Day that Street Film shot in 2006, and I will be right back. How's it going?
I need help.
I don't know, Max. I didn't.
All right, so here's the deal.
All right.
I can't get back to my email. I can get on my email, right, and I can go view conversation.
Oh, it's trying to have you log in with whatever email your iPad is.
Well, that's fine. I'm on it.
All right.
The problem is now I need to find you guys.
Got it.
How do I? What's your?
Is there another?
What's your contact?
Oh, SoCal Street. SOCAL.
Well, I haven't.
Two words or one?
One word.
Ah.
And that's it. And that's email. So, I don't know. Does that matter? Yeah, there we are. Add us. Well, I'm not using the program. So we're added. Well, that's it. I suppose it's just the ad screen. So let's close this and see what happens. There we are now. Invitation. Oh, I have to accept it. Do. Paint Technology Grand.
Did you get an invite?
Oh, now I'm signed in with another thing.
All right, I'm on.
Oh, you are?
I don't know. I'm calling you. You have to just accept.
Oh, I don't think I can do. No,
bro.
hold on. Let me see. Now, if I can't accept and still broadcast onto my YouTube, so let's see if I can just send this to you on Hangout.
You accept, I'm in.
Google.com.
Sorry about this.
That's all right. That's how it goes.
Now it's on. All right, go on. Hey, we're calling. Did you connect? Okay, fine. I should have done it in my office.
Yeah.
I was trying to thought it would be cooler.
Well, I mean, it's nice to have, bring people out here. Also, if the city comes up and comes and tries to kick us out, you can talk to them. Apparently, Rod sent out a memo saying that this is okay.
Huh?
Apparently, Rod sent out a memo saying that it's okay for us to do this. So.
Wants me to be friends with Bill Brock and Chico.
Are you on?
I still don't. I'm still not seeing anything from you.
I'm calling you.
But if the problem is if I accept that call, it would end this. It wouldn't broadcast anymore. Like we need to get you into the broadcast we're doing. Like if I accept the call from you, then it wouldn't.
I'm calling the video.
Oh.
It says I wasn't calling. So it says, look out, Street 2.
How you doing?
Wait, video.
That's
So,
that's
what
literally
we're
sending me
doing here
videos of you telling me
is
that
part
you're
of
on.
your
Because then we're doing
So what do
videos.
I need to do right now?
I'm trying to figure it out.
And the idea is that for a day, you go to a parking space and you kind of set up a parklet. Like we're paying for the, put some quarters in the meter and then set up a parklet just to demonstrate, how the space can be used as well.
Okay,
for,
we
like,
are
public open
one
space.
moment away from starting our
So,
broadcast with
this is an
Mr.
example where
Brock.
we're teaming up with,
I
San
have one
Juan
thing left to do. You can see we're having a little
which
bit
is
of a
the
tech
local
issue
branch
with,
of the,
we're both working
LA
off a
County
wireless
Bike
router.
Coalition. They've got their
I need
here.
to get an
Santa
invite
Monica
added to him,
part
and we will be
of,
live in just a second. So in a moment, we go back to the screen share here of the Streetsblog, and I'll be right back.
Are you a local resident? Yeah, I live right there. Nice. Well, this might
Okay. How do I invite someone?
It's for parking day. For parking day.
Okay. So, hi, it's Damien. We're back. I am going to end this broadcast, and we will be back in just a minute with Commissioner Brock. All right. So, give me 1 minute. We'll be right back.